The first 24 hours in the grave, the ultimate test of every soul. Every single human being on this earth, no matter how rich or poor, powerful or weak, believer or non-believer, has one thing in common. That day will come when their soul will be taken away and their body will be lowered into the grave. It is a moment no one can escape. A reality that no medicine, no technology, no wealth can prevent. In this video, we are going to talk about the most crucial and terrifying hours in a person's journey after death, the first 24 hours in the grave. This is the stage where the soul experiences realities it had only heard about. The grave becomes either a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of hell. We will explore what happens at the time of death, how the soul departs, what occurs when the body is placed in the grave, and most importantly, the questioning by the two angels, Munkar and Nakeer. So sit back, open your heart, and reflect, because one day this will be your story. And mine too. The moment of death. Death does not knock at the door with an appointment. It comes suddenly. When the angel of death, Malik al-Maut, is sent to take the soul, the experience is very different for the believer and the disbeliever. The Prophet Muhammad described an authentic hadith. For the righteous believer, the angel of death comes with angels carrying silk and fragrance from paradise. The soul is gently pulled out of the body, like water flowing from a jug. It is peaceful with the smell of musk, and the angels call the soul by the best names it was ever called in this world. For the wicked or disbeliever, the angel of death comes with dark, terrifying angels. Their presence is heavy, and the soul is ripped out like a piece of wool being dragged through thorns. Painful, harsh. The angels call it by the worst names it was known by. At that very moment, the reality of the world ends. The eyes close. The ears no longer hear the voices of people crying. The body becomes still, but the soul begins its journey. The funeral and burial. When the body is washed, shrouded, and taken to the graveyard, the soul hovers near. The Prophet said, when a person is carried to his grave, his soul follows him and looks at how he is being treated. Imagine for a moment, the body is lowered into the grave. The dirt begins to cover it. The sound of shovels, the cries of family members, the Quran being recited nearby. But once the last person walks away, leaving the graveyard behind, something happens that the living cannot see. The grave squeezes. Yes, every single person experiences the Dabt al-Qabr, the squeeze of the grave. For some, it is just a gentle embrace, like a mother hugging her child. For others, it is so severe that their ribs interlock. This is the beginning of the first night in the grave, the arrival of Munkar and Nakeer. The Prophet Muhammad described to angels, Munkar and Nakeer, who visit every soul in the grave. They are not like any angels we can imagine. Their appearance is terrifying. Their voices shake the earth. They carry authority from Allah. They sit the dead person up in the grave, even though the body seems lifeless to us. And they ask the three most important questions: who is your Lord? What is your religion? What do you say about this man who was sent among you, Prophet Muhammad? Now imagine this test. You can't cheat. You can't memorize an answer sheet. The tongue only speaks what the heart truly lived by. If the person lived by Islam sincerely, the answers flow naturally. My Lord is Allah. My religion is Islam. My Prophet is Muhammad. If the person lived in neglect, rejected faith, or worshiped desires, the tongue stutters. They say, I don't know. I used to hear people saying things. This moment is the true exam of life. Not your college tests, not your career struggles, but the grave questioning. What happens after the questions, depending on the answers, the grave transforms. For the believer, a door to paradise is opened and fresh air and fragrance fill the grave. The grave expands as far as the eye can see. A man with a beautiful face, nice clothes, and pleasant smell appears. The dead asks, "Who are you?" He replies, "I am your good deeds." For the sinner or disbeliever, a door to hell is opened and heat and smoke pour in. The grave becomes narrow, crushing the body. A man with an ugly face, foul smell, and torn clothes appears. He says, I'm your evil deeds. This is not imagination. This is the unseen reality that every soul will taste. The first night in the grave, the first night is the most terrifying. Alone, silent, the body under the dirt, the soul facing realities unseen. The prophet once said, the grave is the first stage of the hereafter. If one passes it safely, then what comes after is easier. But if one fails, then what comes after is worse. The first 24 hours are like the beginning of eternity. Imagine the loneliness, the silence, the darkness, and then imagine either the comfort of angels or the torment of punishment. For some, the grave becomes full of light. For others, it becomes a pit of fire. The lessons for the living. Why does Islam tell us these details? Because the purpose is not to scare only, but to prepare. Every believer should remember, death is not the end. It is the beginning. The grave is not a resting place. It is an exam hall. Your deeds, your prayers, your faith, they will stand by you. Not your money, not your family, not your fame. The Prophet advised, visit the graves, for they remind you of the hereafter. When you stand at a graveyard, realize, one day, people will stand over your grave too. Stories from the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet, took this very seriously. Uthman ibn Affan, the third caliph, whenever he would stand at a grave, he would cry so much that his beard would be soaked. When asked why, he said, I heard the messenger of Allah say, the grave is the first stage of the hereafter. Whoever passes it, everything after is easy. Whoever fails it, everything after is worse. Another companion said, if I knew I had completed to rakas sincerely for Allah, that would be more beloved to me than the whole world, because that is what will help me in the grave. This shows how much they valued sincerity and preparation for the grave. The first 24 hours, a step-by-step recap. Let us summarize the journey of the first 24 hours. The soul's departure, peaceful for believers, painful for sinners. Funeral and burial, the soul watches how it is treated. The grave squeeze, everyone feels it. Munkar and Nakeer's questions, the ultimate test of truth. Grave's transformation, either light and garden-like or dark and fiery. First night loneliness, the reality of your deeds standing by you. This is the cycle every soul must go through. How to prepare for the grave, the Prophet gave us guidance. Strong faith, Iman, firmly believing in Allah and His Messenger. Prayer Salah, the first deed you will be questioned about. Quran and remembrance, light in the grave. Charity Sadaqah Jariyah, deeds that continue even after death. Good character, kindness, honesty, mercy, they all count. Repentance Tawbah, returning to Allah before it's too late. He also taught, Surah Al-Mulk will be a protection for the one who recites it every night, protecting him from the punishment of the grave. The final reflection. Dear brothers and sisters, the first 24 hours in the grave are not a myth, not a story to frighten children. It is the reality of every human being. The world we live in is temporary. The wealth we chase will stay behind. The only thing that will come with us is our faith and deeds. As you watch this video, ask yourself, am I ready for the grave? What answers will my tongue give when Munkar and Nakeer set me up? Will my grave be a garden of light or a pit of fire? Prepare today, so tomorrow you may rest in peace. And remember, the Prophet Muhammad said, the intelligent one is he who controls himself and works for what comes after death. May Allah grant us a peaceful departure, a grave full of light, and protection from punishment. Ameen. If you found this video beneficial, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that more people can learn about the reality of the hereafter. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming reminders.